My name's John Scotland, and what I do, I work as a psychic entertainer. And basically, the theme of the night to do, well, is it real? Is it suggestion? Is it hypnosis? Is it mind games? Is it mentalism? So it covers a lot of different things, do you know what I mean? Because all my life I've been interested in tarot, I believe in tarot, work with the tarot. I do hypnosis, past life regression. And to be honest with you, Patrick, it was probably only about 4 years ago I put this night together because it's a combination of everything that I do, do you know what I mean? And it's just far more engaging than just going to someone's back kitchen and do readings all night, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, for people who don't know what it is, how would you describe your type of show? Because it's nothing that I've come across before. I've come across things like this in pubs, but you don't just do it in pubs, do you?
Yeah, okay, well, to be honest with you, I'd be surprised if you have seen it in pubs. Because as much as I know, nobody does quite the combination that I do. So I'll start the night, and what it is, it's Victorian parlour games, okay? So lots of people, lots of audience participation, everyone's getting involved. And they could be working with, as I say, their genuine psychic intuition. It could be mentalism, hypnosis, body language, suggestion, a combination of them all. Do you know what I mean? So I'll do 2 sets of that. And as you say, I tend to be out in people's homes, but then I'll do something called past life regression. So I'll work with people through a state of relaxation, through hypnosis, to take them back, to see who they used to be in their past lives. So they're revisiting it, they're seeing it, they're visualising it themselves, okay? Everyone gets a read, and I finish the night with glass moving. So some people call it the Ouija board. I don't tend to use the term Ouija, simply because of the negative connotations of it, do you know what I mean? So that's what I do. I think in the pubs what you get a lot of people is doing who claim to be mediums. Now, a medium claims to get messages from spirit, from people who've passed on, and pass them on to the audience. And very, very important to me, I make no claims of mediumship whatsoever. It's not something I do, you know.
Quite a lot of people say things like Ouija boards are easy to fake and easy to actually manipulate via psychology and also basic trickery.
Yeah.
How would you say that yours is yours a show, or is yours the genuine thing?
Okay, well, I like to think. At the end of the night, after people have been to a show or I've gone to their house, their parlour, work with them, what I love to think that it will leave them with more questions than answers, okay? But you particularly mentioned the Ouija board, okay? Now, with that, I will get people around that board, I'll set them up, I'll explain what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. But at no time whatsoever will I ever touch the glass, so the participants are in control of their own actions. Does that make sense to you? So for the night, you can draw whatever conclusions you want. When I'm doing the glass moving, that is the audience, the participants' opportunity, if they believe so, to tap into energies to connect with their loved one in spirit.
How long do your events take place, and how do you go about actually setting them up?
Well, basically, say for instance, typically, what I prefer to work in a parlour environment. So I'll go to someone's home, they'll have a group of people. I'll arrive there about 7:30, 7:45. As I say, we'll go through all these games, the experiments, the hypnosis, the past life regression, the glass moving, and that goes on. Well, certainly till the witching hour, if not later, you know what I mean? So it's a really full night. But what I'm not saying is, what I don't want to do is put my views, my beliefs onto anyone else, Patrick. So it's down to the audience to decide, is it real, is it suggestion, is it hypnosis, is it some sort of mentalism? It's down to them. And what it does then, it gives them an awful lot to talk about after the event, you know?
Do you have a religious view, or are you not religious?
Well, I like to think when I do these nights. I personally feel the biggest thing is beliefs. And what we all have, we have our own belief systems. Now, what I don't want to do is put my belief system onto anyone else. But what I will find, an awful lot of the participants in these nights, like we all do, we all have our own beliefs. we like it or not, we will all find evidence to support our own beliefs. For instance, Paul Simon did a song, and the lyrics, a man sees what he wants to see, and we disregard the rest. And I think this is something that we're all guilty of, even scientists, because we all do it. We all have a view and opinion, and then we might try that a little bit harder to find confirmation. Does that make sense?
It does. Going back to one of the very famous saying, everybody has a God-shaped gap.
Yeah, they do say that, and how's it going to be filled? Yes, it is. And I personally, I don't like to limit it to God or anything or whatever. It's down to the individual, and it may be a God, it may be something internally, it may be something externally. But when we're working with belief systems, powerful things happen. They really, really do. For instance, I work with hypnosis. Hypnosis, for those who want it, those who come to me for hypnosis, it can have the biggest life-changing effect on them that you could ever wish to have. And it can be a wonderful, powerful tool. It really can,
What type of things do you get most feedback of?
Okay, well, basically, it's a roller coaster. It involves lots of different things. Say, for instance, it's about the glass moving. I prefer to call it glass moving. But that like Ouija has a negative connotation. Although the word Ouija simply comes from the word yes. It's just German and French. The yes, isn't it? Yes, it's a positive word. But what I feel, we will do so many things during the course of the night, leading up to the glass moving. And then some people will join it, some people will watch. Some people may even prefer to be in a separate room, Patrick, and that's entirely up to them. But that can be very, very powerful, because when we're doing that, people are believing they're getting messages from their loved ones in spirit. And that can be the view, the belief of quite a number of people in that room. But when I do the hypnosis, it's like regression. It's so powerful, and it's different things, different parts of the night attract some people more than others, So I find it very difficult, really, to single out one particular part. But really, I do the glass moving last. There's nowhere to go after that, you know what I mean? Because it can be very powerful for some people.
Do you find that church and other religions actually try to pull down your type of entertainment?
Churches, for instance, I think it's frowned upon. I think some people will poo-poo it. I also think some people, when they're afraid of something, they won't look to see quite what it is. Do you know what I mean? I remember once I got a very valuable lesson from my son's junior school headmaster. I had a great relationship with him. He used to kids footy team at the school and everything. And the time came for him to go to his senior school. He wasn't allocated the senior school he wanted or I wanted. He was allocated another school. I went to the headmaster. I asked the headmaster, listen, can you help me here? I want to get my son to this school, get it comp it was. And the school we allocated was at the time Speak, which is gone now. And he said to me, well, the first thing you do, you go to Speak comp, you look around it, because how can you say it's a load of rubbish unless you know that for your own eyes and your son's welfare will be better suited at Gattaca? You know what I did? I did that. I spoke to the year master, who would have been my son's headmaster, year master. He was down the road and he was in Hale. There's a couple of kids who were in the catchment area to Speak on. He didn't send his kids to that school. He was open and honest with me. And when it came to go to an appeal to get my son into Gattaca, I used all this information. I used it all. So, I think sometimes it's good to look to see what it's about without necessarily banning it right away, do you know what I mean? I think many churches, like many people, can be bigoted. But I think to say all is too much of a generalisation.
Do you think yours proves life after death, so it should be actually more valuable to the church?
I'm not trying to prove anything. What I like to do, the theme of my nights, is for the people who experience it to decide for themselves. So I'm not pushing one particular path, one particular journey. I'm saying, hey, look, what happens if you go down that road? What happens if you go down that road? Try it and see for yourself. I like to keep my personal views, my beliefs to myself, but I'll let other people work with their belief system to see how that journey goes. Right.
Can I ask you what your background was before you started doing this?
Early on in life, my dad, he used to, my dad's dead, but he used to work with tarot. My nan, she used to work with the hand, like palmistry, and she used to work with playing cards. So it's something I've always been around, always been a part of my life, and always had a great interest in.
Has it always been your job, this, or have you done other types of things?
I've done other work as well, but this is something that has always been an important part of my life. It really, really has. For instance, people who have fears, phobias, they can have one session of hypnosis. It can change their life totally. It's a powerful thing. I remember once I studied counselling, tried to get into counselling. I found it very long-winded. Finding the answers out for yourself as a counsellor doing it. You might take 10, 12, 15 sessions. I found with tarot, I found with hypnosis, one session, it can make a major difference to people's lives. But I also feel like that old thing from Spider-Man, with power does become responsibility. Because we're working with beliefs, we're working with energy, and it's how you use it, how you treat it, that makes a difference,
Do you think it's a growing market for psychic experiences?
I don't look at it as a market. I look at it as something to do, something that's a passion to me. And to be honest with you, I'm not really looking what other people do or how they do it. That's their path, their journey, if you like, their market. And I just tend to focus on more on myself and what I'm doing, rather than looking at what other people do. Because to be honest with you, so many people, what they're doing, they are claiming to get messages from loved ones in spirit. They're working with people who may be very frail, very sensitive, very vulnerable at that time. What I like to do when I work, to be honest with you, with these nights, I like to be fun. I want people to have smiles on their face. For instance, the past life regression I mentioned before. If I work with someone to take them back to a past life, all I'm going to do is guide them to a good experience, a happy experience, a positive experience, not a negative thing. Not if they're going to be in pain or dying or anything like that. I want people to have a good night, to enjoy it. And that to me is what it's about, you know what I mean? But I do know, and I do feel sometimes, some readers can instill panic into the queer, the person who having the reading. And they'll say, oh, you better have another reading in 3 weeks, 6 weeks, or whatever. Come along, we'll get more messages from Auntie Ginny. That's not what I'm about at all, you know what I mean? I'm more about sort of personal freedom, personal liberation, than try and get someone to, I don't know, what's the term I'm looking for, maybe be a little bit sort of the needy, they want to work with you, they're going to come back, they're going to give you more cash. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, to be honest with you.
How do you see the psychic world? Do you see it as like mobile communication between brains? How do you see the actual function? How do you think it works?
You know what? If I knew that, I wouldn't be speaking to you. I believe in it. I really do. But how you put your things on it, how you explain it, I don't know. And I believe sometimes you can go somewhere you've never been in the world before, and you know where it is, you recognise it, and you know when you're going to turn around that corner, what you're going to see. You know before the phone rings sometimes, it's going to be a particular person you may not have spoken to for months, years before, but you just know it's going to happen. And I just believe in an acceptance rather than sort of a challenge to see why. I just accept it. Simply allow it, you know what I mean?
So you would say it's fate.
Okay, let me start off on that. I believe that we all have a path and a journey. I believe we have control over so much of it. I also believe in life there's certain hands with a dog that we cannot control. There was a guy called, what was his name? Milton Erickson, poor guy, as a kid, he had polio, could do very, very little. But he worked with what he had. We all get tools, we all have skills, and it's working with the best of what we can do to get the most enjoyment out of it and to help other people. And I do not believe that things are preordained to that degree. I think we have control and responsibility of our own future, certainly of our own actions.
Well, thank you for your time. If people want to find out more, how do they get in touch with you?
Probably the website's a good one, or Facebook. www.psychicexperiments